of his favorite positions very early in this match. MATHEUS Onda of Brazil is going to have to be careful, because even if the threat of the submission isn't 100% locked in, that those attacks, well, they can add up, can also score advantage points on the scoreboard, and I think that's something that Onda will need to be careful about. Razmadze made to this semi-final here. He's representing Georgia, which is not known on the global scene as a jiu-jitsu powerhouse, but they do have a really rich history and tradition of fighting sports in Georgia. And I remember one of my first times meeting a Georgian athlete. He said, yeah, everybody in my country, they either do judo or wrestling, and I decided to do jiu-jitsu, and many others have followed in his footsteps. And with that background and that foundation and the culture that they have, they're proving to be pretty formidable athletes.
Interesting to note here that Razmadze ranked 5th in Europe on this tour with 2,400 points, of course #1 in Georgia GP Tour. 14 of those by points, 12 by submission, 1 by disqualification, and 1 by walkover.
I think it's interesting to note that Razmadze, looks like a veteran athlete because of his hair, but he's only 30 years of age. He's barely eligible to compete in Masters, but those gray hairs, they make him look a little bit older than he really is.
Well, that's another aspect as well. I mean, certainly in sports like bodybuilding, genetics plays a huge part. You add the training, you add the diet, you know, the dedication it takes. But often, he's training on the footlock. He's got the figure 4.
That's a decent toe hold, but he didn't have a control of the legs, so Onda was able to spin out. But that attack was legit. There was plenty of torque on that foot and the ankle, and that is a 1-point score.
Yeah, genetics of the athletes here as well. You got to think about this coming into the, and you alluded to his grey hair, but I mean the genetics play a part. If you've got predisposition for more muscle mass, recovery rate, explosive musculature, you know, fast twitch fibers, it's always going to play a part here in being a professional athlete. Now, Razmadze as well, as I spoke about earlier, competed as a master yesterday here in Abu Dhabi and took the bronze medal, eventually losing to Thiago Macedo by a 1-on-1 points.
Well, he's almost guaranteed. I mean, depend, of course, this is a semi-final match, have to enter the battle for 3rd place, but he's a hair's breadth away from hitting the podium again in the adult category, which is very impressive indeed. 2 competitions in 2 days. He's not the only person to be doing that here this weekend. There are plenty of athletes who were eligible to compete in the Masters. Ooh, nice throwing up of the loose triangle here. Razmadze's having to posture up completely here. Not sure if this attack would be worth an advantage. It depends on how close the submission threat really is. It's more of a pit stop position right now. Good strength from the Georgian in hoisting his opponent up off the mat. Of course, he's not allowed to slam or to affect the mat return. Has to be careful that he doesn't drop his opponent, but he certainly can shake him off. But Onda is even trying to get a bit of a collar choke or a loop choke action going here. And Razmadze's posture is rock solid. Just over 30 seconds remaining. He can shake him off, but if they do give Onda the point for this attack sequence, well, it could go down to sudden death overtime if it's a tie. But it'll be criteria of who scores last. So with 10 seconds left, let's see what happens here.
Stop.
Okay, are they going to give that 1 point to Onda? No, they're not. Razmadze is going to take the win 1-0, and he will advance through into the final against either Thiago Macedo or Diego Pato, coming up later today. Yeah, I think Onda must be really disappointed with that. You know, all that work to enter into that triangle position, and Razmadze's posture and defense in response to that was really impressive. Here's the toe hold attack.
Yeah, innovative approach to the entry to the figure four.
Came from an unorthodox position as well,
Yeah.
right?
He's a footlock specialist, but I love the way he saw under there roll towards the shin side. I mean, it's kind of like a shot in the dark to roll to the wrong side, but he did the correct thing of putting his shin into his opponent to roll through to escape his way from the figure four footlock.
What's her name? What's her name?
It's a lightweight division sponsored by Pure Health.
Okay, we've got another quarterfinal match now, this time in the featherweight under 62 kilogram division. Kalel Santos with the red belt around his waist going up against Shoya Ishiguro of Japan.
The featherweight division.